I really cannot afford a $30,000 hydro bill. Do you ever have those moments where you thank your past self for busting your butt so hard that you get to enjoy the things in your life that you have today, right now? I do.
Hey, I'm Jane. I'm a single mom and I'm not letting that hold me back. I just bought 5 acres of raw land in the Kootenai Rockies where I'm building my dream timber frame home and homestead with a permaculture food forest and even a vacation rental. All of this is so one day, hopefully, my daughter won't need to struggle the way that I did. Come along with me as I create my very own freedom recipe.
The time has come to make a hydro plan. The loggers come back next week, so I have to have this plan completely ready for them so they can jump right in. I'm really hoping that I can keep enough trees to have some privacy, because even though I live in the woods, there are neighbors who use a little driveway, and I really want to be able to garden naked. Luckily, I have a 100-meter stretch. I thought it was feet, but it's meters. A meter is basically the same as a yard. So 100 meters to the pole, and then another 100 meters to the future timber frame home. That's a pretty good amount of space. However, it is 5 acres, and we're going from the bottom corner of the property all the way to the top on the opposite corners. So that amount of space gets chewed up really fast. That's about 600 feet to be able to use in total, and we're just gonna make it. The technician is on his way, and we're gonna pick a new spot to put the hydro pole. We're thinking about putting the pole along this bank here, which means we actually have to create yet another road for the trucks to come in, because they actually have to put the truck right beside where the pole's gonna go. They need to be able to drill directly beside the truck. Okay, so the idea that one of the hydro guys had is like, now that there's this big wide open area, instead of going and cutting down all of this, he was like, why not go through here somewhere?
Okay.
And like,
kind of up on the bank?
Yeah.
The one thing that we'll definitely need is the crew will need to have access to it.
Totally.
So we'll need some sort of clearing, and
yeah,
at least a line truck and probably a bucket truck up there.
Right. Basically, we would probably build the road to it around the back way. Realistically, it could be like anywhere up there.
Okay.
And then we would, build the road around the back.
Right. As long as we're within that, about 90 meters from that other pole, I don't think that's an issue.
Okay, sweet.
I would just hate if we went too far.
God,
If we ended up going like 130, we'd have to put another pole in. Which would
totally.
cost a lot more.
Yeah.
And I'd love to try to keep it just to one pole.
Yeah, me too. And then 100 meters to the shed, right?
Yeah. Like, are we taking this bank down at all a little bit, or is that staying about there?
Everything's flexible.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because like if the pole's going there, then all these trees are coming down anyway. So like we can do whatever.
Okay. I mean, if all the trees are going down, we might need to drop that bank just a little bit. We don't really want the wire to be, super low at one end, so we're not meeting our clearances.
Totally. And I have to get my tiny home under it. And so I'm like, this does mean more trees are coming down, but less trees than I initially thought. Plus, those trees will help offset the cost of the hydro. More destruction to come. So I guess it would just be a matter of us knowing where to put the road, but I guess stay on the higher side, but still leave some privacy.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you almost look at where the stake is and we just bump it back a little bit, then that would almost be right in line with where we need to be. And then you get to keep some of the trees up there.
Yeah.
As long as there's that clear line of sight between the two poles, like the stake and the one over there.
Yeah. Okay.
That'll be good for us.
Oh, that's way less scary than I thought.
Yeah, it makes it a lot nicer, just especially with a trenching, just a straight shot. You don't have to worry about getting conduit bends or anything like that. I'm pretty confident that kind of spot right at the base in there, right at the base of the driveway would be pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Do you ever have those moments where you thank your past self for making such a good decision or busting your butt so hard that you get to enjoy the things in your life that you have today, right now? I do. I tend to go through periods of my life where I'm working really hard and hustling, and then I just do nothing and I enjoy the fruits of my labor. This is one of the moments where I feel like I'm hustling, but I'm also enjoying the fruits of my past labor, so it's a very new feeling for me. Remember last week when I was so sad that the nursery didn't have any Macintosh apple trees?
Really?
And my Macintosh at the place where I'm living now died because it's so dry? Well, the roots shot up a brand new sprout, so we've got a Macintosh apple tree. It's only this big, and it's gonna take about 3 to 5 years to grow to the size it was before, but we have a Macintosh tree. So the apple tree in question is this little guy. You can see that no leaves are growing on it, and it's the end of June, so it also hasn't really grown any taller since I planted it here 4 years ago. So this spot, which is where I live currently and I'm moving off of, is just not a great place for growing. But this tiny little sprout right here, this is giving me hope. Seeing this sprout pop up and being reminded that everything regrows, everything can be rebuilt, and even when you think something is dead, it can have a new life. And that's exactly how I'm feeling with this whole land development project. I'm starting over, but it's my chance to actually grow my dream life from the ground up. What I need to do though is I need to cut down this trunk because it is going to slowly die from the top, and I don't want that to affect the root ball at the bottom, because that little sprout is actually able to use the huge root ball from the tree. And I'm hoping that that gives it a better chance of survival when we move it over to the new land. It was a little bit sad though, I'm not gonna lie. I had high hopes to see a tire swing under this tree and for it to give us lots and lots of Macintosh apples. That's okay, her baby is gonna help us out. While I'm at it, I'm also gonna trim up some of my other trees here that are struggling, cut off the dead branches, kind of like an operation, and hopefully that'll give them the energy to spend on all the new shoots and it can thrive at the new land. It'll only hurt for a second, I promise. It's kind of like going to the dentist, even though you have no idea what the dentist is like. Like a surgeon in an operating room. I'm gonna move over all of the trees that haven't died as soon as everything is logged here. And a lot of them are dead. Dead, 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 dead. While I'm working on this land development, I'm also still tattooing, which is my primary source of income. I do love it. It gives me a creative outlet, and my little cabin studio is my place to get away when everything is a little bit too chaotic around me, which when you're doing land development and building a tiny home pretty much feels like it's all the time. Yeah. I got into tattooing 8 years ago after I became a single mom. The only non-negotiable I've had in my entire life has been to stay home with my daughter.
Where have you been?
Right?
Wow.
I can live simply and I can wait to have nice things, but I will not sacrifice her emotional and mental well-being for anything. Tattooing has given me the flexibility to make my own schedule while also using my art and design training. I love working with a different client each day because when I worked in animation, all anybody ever talked about was animation. Now I get to have conversations about all sorts of different things with all sorts of different people. It honestly doesn't even seem fair to call tattooing work. I get to be in my own little cabin studio on my own land and make my own art. Today's session was going to be filling in all the color for this cover-up. However, sometimes the pain is just too much to sit through.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's just not.
Okay. That's how it goes some days.
Yeah.
So we did a couple hours and we're gonna have to continue the rest another day. It's really good to listen to your body, know your limits, and stay within it. The cabin studio is actually gonna be one of the first structures to move over to this new land. And I'm so excited because the pond is actually gonna be built right in front of it. So my clients and I are gonna be able to sit on this little deck and look out over the pond under some weeping willows. It doesn't seem real. It is so much my dream life that I can't believe it's happening. It's so awesome. Art is such a big part of my life, and while I haven't been involved in theater for a couple decades, I got the opportunity to do sound for one of the theater productions in town, and my daughter got to join me. I was so impressed with how quickly she picked everything up. At first I thought, oh, she's just gonna be able to sit in the booth and watch and enjoy it. But then the other tech said, oh, here, give her this headset. So she was able to hear what everybody was saying backstage and hear the sound cues. She was even operating the buttons sometimes. It's always been really important to me to show her all of the options of the things that she can do in this world. Try different sports, try different arts, go to different locations, listen to different music, play different instruments. The reason why this channel is called The Freedom Recipe is because I'm taking all of the ingredients that I feel are necessary for us to just do whatever the heck we want to do. That means at home, that means for travel, that means for creating things with our hands. I don't want to have any limits, and I don't want my daughter to have any limits either. And a life of freedom is built brick by brick. The loggers come back next week, and then it's only a week or two before the hydro pole goes in and the well gets drilled. That is super exciting. So join me next week when we clear the rest of the build site to make room for the tiny home to come through. And I continue to just figure this out as I go. I am proof that you don't need to have a perfectly nailed down plan to just get started on your dreams. It's a bit nutty, but it seems to work out in the end. And no matter what you do in life, remember to pour love into it.